The city of Lethbridge is pretty excited to see shovels in the ground as construction of our new agri-food hub and trade center begins at Lethbridge Exhibition Park. Joining me now to chat about it is the CEO of Lethbridge Exhibition Park, Mike Warkentin. Mike, welcome to Bridge City News.
Thanks for having me, Hal. I appreciate the opportunity.
Now, can you give a bit of an overview of how long the construction will take on the expansion and when will it open?
Absolutely. So we kicked off with our formal groundbreaking at the end of March, and construction will take right through until December of 2022. We anticipate that sort of grand opening moment when the public can come see it and see all the different amenities that it includes in early 2023, hopefully in the spring of 2023. Over the next couple of weeks, you will see some different things happening. Obviously, right now, if you come past the park, you'll see the earth is being moved significantly. We're elevating the building up so that the bottom floor of the building has views of Henderson Lake. And so it will be at the same level as Parkside Drive. As we move into the summer months, you'll start to see the foundation piles come in, and then in the fall, you'll start to see the steel superstructure take shape. So it's really going to happen quickly. And then all of a sudden, next year, we'll be an enclosed building and it will have that full shape.
Now, with a project of this magnitude, Mike, we're probably talking big bucks. What's the total cost and where's the funding coming from?
Absolutely. So the total project budget that we're working in is $70.6 million. And so the province came forward as part of their Alberta recovery plan with the COVID-19 pandemic with $27.8 million to support an infrastructure build here in Southern Alberta. Next, the city of Lethbridge came in with a $25 million grant. And then over the next 30 years of operations, us at Lethbridge and District Exhibition are financing the remainder of the building, which is about $17.8 million.
So how many Lethbridge jobs will this actually create? And how much money will the new facility potentially bring to our local economy here, Mike?
Sure. So the early estimates were that about 365 construction jobs would be created here in the local economy. And we've been very consistent with wherever possible, providing equal opportunity to local trades to build this building. We've been very proud to say that we've partnered with Ward Brothers Construction, a local construction management firm, to manage this project. So we truly are trying to keep as much of this money in our economy as possible. Where we anticipate this growing to in terms of economic development that the building will bring, we see around a $20 million increase in an annual impact for the community from what we do today at approximately $74 million. A lot of people question me on what does that actually mean and how is that going to reflect in the day-to-day? And so what that actually means is that people are going to be staying in hotel rooms. People are going to be eating at local restaurants. People are going to be shopping in the stores here and spending money at the gas stations as they come into town. The biggest change in our business operating model as we go forward to this new building is actually that we're looking outward. So traditionally, Lethbridge and District Exhibition has done a lot of regional events, and it's been a gathering place for the region and the community. It will continue to be that, but we're going to expand that to the provincial and the national, and potentially even some international visitors coming into the community to spend dollars here in the local economy.
So, Mike, what new features will the new building have? And specifically, will they still have small rooms available? And how big will the largest hall be?
Sure. So one of the main things that we were missing in our existing facilities was the ability to provide breakout space for our larger shows and some of that amenity space that comes with larger convention and trade centers in larger markets. And so what this building has is 4 main trade halls, and I'll talk about the size of them in a minute, three main level salons that are collapsible into one larger one that's about 13,000 square feet. We have 4 meeting rooms on the main floor, that are approximately 1,000 square feet each. Those also open up into one much larger room capable of holding larger meetings, galas, larger events. On the second floor, we have the Lakeview Salon, and it's about a 300-person gala space that looks out over Henderson Lake. This will be a marquee spot in Southern Alberta, not just in Lethbridge. And then we've got the rooftop patio that's off of the Lakeview Salon. But shifting back to the trade halls, each trade hall, they're identical in shape and size. Each are a little over 28,000 square feet. And so to put that into perspective, when they're opened up into one contiguous trade hall, all of the space that's in the existing pavilions at Exhibition Park will fit inside just that trade hall space in one large room that has 3 pillars only. It's mostly a clear span room, and it's a trade hall space like Southern Alberta hasn't seen.
So what will the interior and exterior decor and theme actually look like?
Sure. And so this is actually, there's been a ton of time spent on these details. And so one of the more unique things I want to say is, one of the unfortunate things about the early stages of this construction is that we had over 200 old growth trees here on site that had been planted in the early 1900s for the World Dry Farming Congress. And unfortunately for this building, a lot of those were beyond life. A lot, when we brought the building up to elevation, as I spoke about earlier, weren't going to survive that impact. And so what we did is we wanted to ensure that we were recycling these. And so we're happy to say we have over 100 different elements in the design that will incorporate the wood from those trees into furniture components around the building. So there will be a strong wood aesthetic throughout the building. But our architects and our interior designers focused on three key themes: the agriculture of the region, the coal mining history of the region, and the railroad that comes through Lethbridge and has obviously been an important piece of our history here. And then woven into that are bits of history of Lethbridge and District Exhibition. For example, the bleachers from the South Pavilion in the existing pavilions are being incorporated into the new building. And there's unique design elements. It's an industrial feel in there, but exceptionally modern and going for a very open concept with public space. And so the other unique feature about this building is that it will have a public food court space. It will have up to 5 commercial retail units in it that we can service the public on a Saturday morning as they're walking around Henderson Lake. They can come in for a coffee, sit on our patio, and look out over the lake.
That sounds great. Now, so with the expansion doubling the current capacity for events, Mike, you're hoping to attract new customers and events. Do you have anything booked for the future already that you can tell us about?
So we're currently in the process and in multiple discussions with a lot of different event producers. Obviously, given what's going on in the world right now, no one's really looking to commit to too many events. However, those discussions have started, and we are looking to begin that process shortly.
Now, do you know yet if Whoop Up Days will move ahead this year?
So this is the million-dollar question that I keep getting asked. And so take COVID-19 away for a second, and I want to talk about the impacts of the construction on the park. And so we knew that if the building went forward, that Whoop Up Days would look different. And the main reason for that is that currently the majority of our grass surface here at the park is part of the construction site. Now, a lot of that will come back in landscape manicured grass area that will be usable space for future events, but we won't have access to that until we open the building in 2023. Now, layering on COVID-19 and what that has meant for us is that there's a component of our buildings that isn't accessible currently to us in an event planning mode, because we're happy to host the AHS vaccine clinic here at the park. And so something will happen around Whoop Up Days. The other challenges that layer into this is there's a bunch of different jurisdictions that their social gathering restrictions come into play. For example, our Midway comes out of BC. The majority of the entertainment comes out of the United States. I think everybody knows the challenges we're currently living through when it comes to travel and it comes to bringing people into the community. So there's part of a wait and see going on. However, we're planning many activities for the community right now in the hopes that we are able to open up and do something for this community. After all, we're in the business of bringing people together, but we need to make sure we're doing it in a safe and responsible way.
Sorry, I was just going to ask you, so once the expansion is finished, Mike, how will it really impact Whoop Up Days?
So once the expansion is finished, it'll actually provide more space for Whoop Up Days. For example, our stormwater pond to the south of the building will be a bowl. It'll be a manicured bowl where we can actually hold a festival-like environment in there, plus the midway traditionally in its location at the south parking lot. So one of the design features that we focused incredible amount of time on is ensuring the functionality of this park for all types of events, but namely our signatures, to ensure that Whoop Up Days isn't impacted in the future. But in the short term, there may be some impact to what people are used to, but we'll come back with a vengeance in 2023 to ensure that we're throwing a proper gathering for everybody.
So what are the plans for this year's trade shows? Will they again have to be held virtually?
You know what? I wish I had the answer to that, Hal. Last year, when we did our budgets in the fall, at that point in time, we could do trade shows. There was a specific level of restrictions that needed to be in place, occupancy controls, things like that. Under the current measures, we're not allowed to do any of that. So there's a bit of a moving target with that as well. However, we do hope that we are able to bring those events back to the community next year, but at this time we don't know what they'll look like, unfortunately.
Now, you do have some interesting events planned for this year, including a program called the Southern Alberta Table. Can you explain what that's all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So this was a very specific targeted group of events, actually, to draw tourism to Southern Alberta around a celebration of agriculture. Southern Alberta has so many incredible qualities. The top three that come to mind for us are really the three main agricultural ones: sun, soil, and the opportunity for water rights here in Southern Alberta. And so Southern Alberta Table is a celebration of the producers that make that come to life every day. There's four main events. One, we're kicking it off with a barbecue judging class, because if you're anything like me, Hal, everyone I know, it seems, got into barbecuing and smoking meat during COVID. And so it's become an incredibly popular thing. And so we've actually seen some really good uptake on the judging class. Now, at this time, we're currently trying to figure out how we can manage that with the restrictions if they go any longer than they are. But the next event in July is the more unique one that's coming to Southern Alberta, and that's the Smoke, Wind, and Fire barbecue contest. It is barbecue competition, excuse me. It's the only one of its kind in Canada in July. Due to the restrictions, we're going to be the first one in Canada this year. And it is truly a thing that's gaining a ton of momentum for your everyday backyard hobbyist barbecuer. So we've got up to 24 professional teams that we're hoping to bring into the community, all entirely social distance. At this point in time, the event doesn't have that festival atmosphere because of the restrictions, but we are looking to turn this one into an annual. And then the more unique piece that I hope everyone kind of comes in for the local bragging rights for who's the best pitmaster in town is the backyard barbecue competition, which hits against each other. Your everyday backyard bandit on the grill into the ultimate showdown for chicken and ribs. So we're excited to see what comes out of that for sure. And then one of the things we really wanted to drive, and I can't give enough credit to our partners at Visit Lethbridge who came together and built Southern Alberta Table with us. But one of the things that we said to them is we want to help you drive hotel room nights. It's so important. It's an industry that's been obviously struggling because of COVID-19. It's something that regularly fills weekend hotel rooms in the summer here because of sports tournaments, Street Rulers Weekend, all these things that haven't happened. We needed to do something that we could put in the calendar and continuously drive hotel room nights for our partners at the hotels. And so one of the more unique aspects that came up was this this Visit Lethbridge Odyssey, and it's our take on the Amazing Race. However, teams will journey all over southern Alberta, learning about traditional and modern agricultural practices, competing obviously in challenges at each place for a $5,000 cash prize. So it's a really unique piece to what this summer is going to hold, and there's certainly some incentive to get down here and explore southern Alberta, and we're going to weave some education in there. And then lastly, we're looking at a harvest dinner, and so we're still in the final elements of planning that, but we've currently got a Canadian celebrity chef that we're finalizing a deal with to host a plant-based harvest dinner here in southern Alberta. And so we're excited about that because the agri-food industry is something that is so unique to southern Alberta in the advantage that we have over any other region in North America. And we want to highlight that to the world and showcase it.
Exciting times ahead, absolutely. Thanks so much for being with us today, Mike. It's Mike Warkentin, the CEO of Lethbridge Exhibition Park. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Hal. I appreciate it.